Imagine the most profound act of creation you can conceive. An architect designing a vast tower. A composer sitting before silence to write a symphony. But each of them begins with something. With space to work in. With time to think. With the laws of physics holding every one of their tools together. Today, we will witness a story of origins that strips all of it away. A moment with no canvas. No space. No time. No tools. The ultimate blank slate. $13,800,000,000 years ago, there was no before. To grasp it, we must abandon entirely our intuition about how reality is supposed to work. As a novelist once wrote, summing up the scientific consensus better than most textbooks, "In the beginning, there was nothing, which exploded." Let us wind the cosmic clock back to its very limit, until we strike a wall. Physicists call it the Planck epoch. The first measurable instant. From absolute zero to a sliver of time so thin it defies language. A single one, preceded by a decimal point and 42 zeros. In that imperceptible window, the universe burned at temperatures beyond conception. Infinitely dense. Chaotic. And the four forces that govern nature today? Gravity. Electromagnetism. The strong nuclear force. And the weak were fused into a single, indistinguishable superforce. And here arises the most human question of all. What came before? But to ask it is to stand at the very North Pole and ask someone to point north. Space and time lose all meaning. There is no north of the North Pole. At that scale, the words themselves come apart in our hands. And yet, the universe did not remain trapped in that foam. Because we are here. Something forced it to break. The inflationary epoch arrives. In a fraction of a blink, the very fabric of space stretched, multiplying its size by a factor of at least 10 to the 26th. Faster than light, you will say. But no. It was not matter traveling through space. It was space itself expanding, carrying all matter and all energy along with it. This colossal stretch was a cosmic eraser. It smoothed the chaos. It left behind a vast expanse, flat and uniform. But a perfect eraser leaves a perfect void. And the universe of today is no dull, uniform broth. There are galaxies, stars, planets, life. Where did the scaffolding of reality come from? The answer is the most beautiful of paradoxes. Inflation erased the chaos on the grand scale, but it amplified the chaos of the very small. Those minute fluctuations of the void were caught by the expansion and stretched to cosmic dimensions, frozen forever into the fabric of space-time. Picture a deflated balloon bearing a flaw so small no microscope could see it. Inflate it to the size of the Earth, and that invisible bump becomes a mountain range. Those ranges can still be seen today in the faint afterglow the early universe left behind. Tiny differences in temperature, gravitational seeds. The most colossal structures in the cosmos are quite literally fossils of quantum mechanics. But scaffolding is not a building. How do we pass from an incandescent plasma to real matter? 1 second after the beginning, the entire universe becomes a nuclear fusion reactor. And it has only 20 minutes. Less than a commute to work. And in that instant, the chemical makeup of the entire cosmos was fixed forever. Protons and neutrons hurl themselves at one another, desperate to fuse. They try to form deuterium. But the universe is flooded with ferocious light, and every nucleus that manages to be born is shattered at once. It is like building a house of cards in the middle of a hurricane. But the hurricane dies down. The universe expands, it cools, and at last the light loses its fury. Deuterium survives. And in a frantic cascade, helium is forged. Then, the oven shuts off. The universe strikes an invisible wall. Nowhere in nature is there a stable nucleus with a mass of exactly 5, nor of 8. An impassable barrier. To create the carbon of your DNA, the oxygen you breathe, 3 helium nuclei would have to collide almost at once in an oven far more sustained. That oven did not yet exist. And so, after 20 minutes, the cosmic reactor fell silent, leaving a universe made of 3 parts hydrogen to 1 of helium. The rest would have to wait hundreds of millions of years for the birth of the first star. Now, look at your own hands. For this was no distant event occurring in some void. It is the very origin of your existence. The screen you gaze upon, the food you ate today, the cells of your body. All of it is built from the remnants forged in that 20-minute reactor. The hydrogen in every molecule of water in your veins was born in that primordial oven. You walk, at this very moment, made of atomic machinery 13,800,000,000 years old. And one final thought before the silence returns. Perhaps inflation was not a single event. Perhaps it continues. In regions infinitely far away, other universes are budding at this very moment, expanding at impossible speeds, igniting new blasts. Perhaps all we shall ever see, every star, every galaxy, is but one tiny bubble in a vast, effervescent cosmic foam. An eternal hotel of rooms without end. Something to ponder the next time you raise your eyes to the silence of the night.